Hi, Aurora here from Supercharged Science. Now this video is a bit different from anything I've ever done before. Now, I usually send you some cool science experiments. I'm pretty good at that. So I ask for your understanding if this isn't quite as flashy. It's just that this is such an important concept, one that I use every day with my kids, and I felt like I just had to share it with you. Now, it might seem a little bit odd at first, but just stick with me. I hope this is all right. So a mom contacted me and told me that her daughter used to roll her eyes when it came to doing science. She told me now that her daughter can't wait to do science because suddenly it was her favorite subject. I think she's an eScience member. It was a very kind email. It made me smile, and I appreciate each and every one of these that I get. But then she asked a question that really got me thinking. She asked, how do you teach science so well? So here's the answer. I don't. What I really do is I get kids excited and motivated about learning science. I make it fun. And then I deliver the part that they learn from. Let me show you how this works. Now, if you want your kid to learn a subject, whether it be math or science or English or whatever it is, in order to do that, so if you want your kids to learn anything, the first thing you need to do is to take an action. Now, this action could be anything like signing up for the soccer team, so you could learn how to hone your soccer skills. It could be signing up for a ballet class to learn how to do ballet. It could be joining a chess club to learn how to play chess. It could be doing a science experiment, so you could figure out an answer to your question. It could be learning how to write a better creative writing project, and you do that maybe by reading books. So there's some kind of action that needs to come before this, okay? So in order to learn, you must take some kind of action. Okay? And of course, you don't take actions unless you decide to take some kind of action. So a decision is usually made. And you could be flipping through a catalog book and say, ooh, I really want to learn horseback riding. Okay, that would be a decision. And then the action for that would be calling up around some stables and finding, who gives great horseback riding lessons for kids. Okay, so that would be your decision that you make. So when you decide something, that's going to lead to the action that's going to lead to your goal, which is, learning about a subject. Okay, so before action, Okay, comes a decision. Okay, so we have decision leads to action, action leads to learning. Okay, what is it that makes us decide things? I mean, how do you just decide? I know you just decide, you just do it, but do you use your mind a little bit maybe? Yeah, you think about things first, don't you? So your thoughts lead to your decisions, which then lead to action, which then leads to learning. So our thoughts our thoughts lead us to decisions, which lead us to actions, which lead us to learning. Okay? All right, so you could ask, well, what dictates what we think about? How does that get decided? How does that happen? And our thoughts are triggered by the input that we allow to come into our mind. Okay? Okay, so here we have our input leads to our thoughts, leads to our decisions, leads to our action, and leads to us learning something. So maybe we are around certain people that are talking about how great this new, fuel cell car is. Well, you're going to start having thoughts about that. You'll decide, hey, I want to learn more about fuel cell cars. I'm going to, take this science class or read this article about it. There's my action. I could read an article maybe in a science magazine. And then, hey, I might learn something about it. Okay, so that's kind of how this process works. Okay, you got that so far? Now, this just doesn't apply just to science. This applies to everything that we can learn about. And this doesn't just apply to what we consciously focus on learning, but perhaps even more to what we unconsciously take in without even thinking about it. Let me share a story with you. Now, I've worked with lots of kids over the years, in addition to having 3 of my own. In working with thousands of kids, I've noticed certain patterns in kids' behavior depending on the input they receive. You see, each type of input we experience has a core message. This is the underlying meaning that we take away from something that's on a deeper level. For example, if I watch the news, most of what I hear about is stuff like people getting killed, natural disasters, how bad the economy is, how ruthless criminals are on the loose. And as these stories go by, there's this overall core message that most of them share, which is, well, the world is a dangerous place. This is just an example about how this core message idea works. I'm not passing judgment on watching news. I know there's a lot of positive news out there. I'm just sharing this with you as a concept. Here's a positive one. I personally like to listen to inspirational stuff from Tony Robbins. You know, the motivational speaker guy. His core message is, you can do it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the places that we, me, you, our kids, take in this type of input and what the core messages are that we're getting from these sources. First, let's take a look at some not so good ones. Okay, so I'm going to draw a graph. So on one side we're going to put input and the other side we're going to put message. So let's have a look. The core message with the news that I get personally is that the world is a dangerous place. Okay? So the world is dangerous. Now, what's another source of input? That could be video games. What's the core message in a video game? Now, the one that I personally get is that you have to destroy or be destroyed. There is no win-win situation. You never hear at the end of the game like, hey, you won and I won too. You don't hear that. It's either you better destroy everything before you actually get destroyed and your game is over. Okay, so I would write that down. Destroy or be destroyed. No win-win. So if you watch TV and you watch sitcoms, what's the core message in a sitcom? Okay, the core message that I get in a sitcom is that people are going to put you down, and that's okay, and you should put other people down as well. So verbal abuse is okay. Okay, so that's the core message that I get. I'm going to write that down. Verbal abuse is okay. Those are just some of the not so positive ones. Now let's take a look at more positive ones. We'll write them over here, okay? And we're going to do this slightly differently. First, we're going to look at the message we want to receive, and then we're going to try and figure out places where we can go, sources we can get that input, okay? Let's do that first. All right, so let's draw our table again. Okay, only this time on this side, we're going to write message. And then on the other side, we'll write input. So what are some of the positive core messages that you would want to be coming to you on a regular basis? Something that you could really feed your brain with. How about working together is good? Okay, so working together is good. Now, where could you get that kind of core message? How about working on a team or being part of sports or even joining a club? Those could all be places where you get that core message. Okay, so I'll put sports or maybe joining in a club. Okay, some kind of community activity. All right, what's another core message that you would want to have? How about the one that says, you can do it or I can do it? Okay. So where would you get that kind of message? I can do it. Well, you might get this from family, from friends, or from inspirational, motivational speaker people like Tony Robbins, for example, or Jim Rohn. Okay, so you can get this from family, friends, or some kind of Tony Robbins or someone like that. Okay, that would be a great place to get that. What other messages would you want to be around all the time? Would you want your kids to be around all the time? How about the one that says people are good? Okay. People are good. Okay. Now, where would you get that kind of message? Now, church, for some people, can be a really positive influence. Where else could you get the idea that people are good? How about positive websites? Okay. Or maybe communities on the web that you might be a part of that are positive and inspiring and supportive. Yeah, there are a lot of different places you can go to get this. How about this message? When you help others, you'll also be helped. Isn't that a great message? So, helping others and you'll be helped. Now, where would you find that message? How about the scout groups like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or even Rotary clubs or Kiwanis clubs? Yeah, kind of service organizations, okay? Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Rotary. Any one of those will be a great place to find that message. So when I first started Supercharged Science over a decade ago, I knew I wanted to be a great teacher. And in order to do that, one of the ways I went about that is I went to go find as many teachers as I could, as many outstanding teachers that were out there, and I not only studied what it was that they did in the classroom, but also what they thought about and what kind of environment they put themselves in so they could continue to grow and contribute and still stay fresh and have tons of energy. So I learned from other people. And when the going got a little tough sometimes, as you know life does, one of the things that really helped me out was success stories, was hearing people's stories about ways that they overcame the challenges that I was personally going through. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Well, actually, I kind of need your help. I was wanting to put together a set of success stories from parents about teaching their kids, and I was hoping you would help me do this. You see, I want you and I to work together, and I want to hear from you. If you have a success story about how you overcame a challenge with teaching your kids, or some of the things that you've done that have worked, something of the order of education, then I want to hear from you. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to put them together into a collection and then make them available and free for everyone. So regardless of whether you choose to help me or not, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll see you soon.